Lesson 69. My grievances hide the light of the world in me. No one can look upon what your grievances conceal. Because your grievances are hiding the light of the world in you, everyone stands in darkness, and you beside him. But as the veil of your grievances is lifted, you are released with him. Share your salvation now with him who stood beside you when you were in hell. He is your brother in the light of the world that saves you both. Today let us make another real attempt to reach the light in you. Before we undertake this in our more extended practice period, let us devote several minutes to thinking about what we are trying to do. We are literally attempting to get in touch with the salvation of the world. We are trying to see past the veil of darkness that keeps it concealed. We are trying to let the veil be lifted and to see the tears of God's Son disappear in the sunlight. Let us begin our longer practice period today with the full realization that this is so, and with real determination to reach what is dearer to us than all else. Salvation is our only need. There is no other purpose here, and no other function to fulfill. Learning salvation is our only goal. Let us end the ancient search today by finding the light in us and holding it up for everyone who searches with us to look upon and rejoice. Very quietly now, with your eyes closed, try to let go of all the content that generally occupies your consciousness. Think of your mind as a vast circle, surrounded by a layer of heavy, dark clouds. You can see only the clouds, because you seem to be standing outside the circle and quite apart from it. From where you stand, you can see no reason to believe there is a brilliant light hidden by the clouds. The clouds seem to be the only reality. They seem to be all there is to see. Therefore, you do not attempt to go through them and past them, which is the only way in which you would be really convinced of their lack of substance. We will make this attempt today. After you have thought about the importance of what you are trying to do for yourself and the world, try to settle down in perfect stillness, remembering only how much you want to reach the light in you today, now. Determined to go past the clouds, reach out and touch them in your mind, brush them aside with your hand, feel them resting on your cheeks and forehead and eyelids as you go through them. Go on. Clouds cannot stop you. If you are doing the exercises properly, you will begin to feel a sense of being lifted up and carried ahead. Your little effort and small determination call on the power of the universe to help you, and God Himself will raise you from darkness into light. You are in accord with His will. You cannot fail, because your will is His. Have confidence in your Father today and be certain that He has heard you and answered you. You may not recognize His answer yet, but you can indeed be sure that it is given you, and you will yet receive it. Try as you attempt to go through the clouds to the light to hold this confidence in your mind. Try to remember that you are at last joining your will to God's. Try to keep the thought clearly in mind that what you undertake with God must succeed. Then let the power of God work in you and through you, that His will and yours be done. In the shorter practice periods, which you will want to do as often as possible, in view of the importance of today's idea to you and your happiness, remind yourself that your grievances are hiding the light of the world from your awareness. Remind yourself also that you are not searching for it alone, and that you do know where to look for it. Say then, my grievances hide the light of the world in me. I cannot see what I have hidden. Yet I want to let it be revealed to me, for my salvation and the salvation of the world. Also, be sure to tell yourself, if I hold this grievance, the light of the world will be hidden from me if you are tempted to hold anything against anyone today. All right, let's dive deep. Lesson 69. My grievances hide the light of the world in me is a revelation, an invitation, and a dismantling of illusions all in one. It's saying that the very thing you're searching for, the light, the truth, the peace, is already in you, but you can't see it because of the thick veil of grievances you refuse to release. The prison of grievance, a shared darkness. No one can look upon what your grievances conceal. Not only are you in darkness, but the one you hold a grievance against is in darkness too. This is not a private suffering. You think you're making someone else suffer with your anger, but the punishment is mutual. You're standing in a pitch-black room with the person you resent, both of you unable to see, thinking you're righteous for keeping the light hidden. And that's the rub. Grievances don't just blind you to the truth about others, they blind you to the truth about yourself. You become what you accuse. You accuse them of selfishness. Now you are self-centered in your grievance. You accuse them of cruelty. Now you are wielding your own sword of punishment. But what happens when the veil lifts? When the grievance is dropped? You are released with him. It doesn't just say he is released. The chains fall from both of you simultaneously, because the grievance itself was the prison. The wedding veil, the revelation of innocence. Picture a bride, her face obscured. The veil is thin, transparent even, yet it alters perception completely. You think you see her, but you don't. The details are blurred. You assume things about her expression, her features, her emotions. But when the veil is lifted, oh behold, this is the grievance. You think you know what you're looking at. You think you understand the situation. You think you're seeing clearly. But you're looking through something, through pain, through history, through an old lens. So the lifting of the veil is not just seeing the other person differently, it's seeing yourself differently. It's realizing that your perception was tainted by the film of your grievance, a distortion masquerading as truth. The ancient search, the longing for what we refuse to accept. Jesus calls it an ancient search. What are we searching for? Peace, love, resolution. Yet humanity has been seeking and not finding for millennia. Why? Because we search in the darkness. We search without first lifting the veil. We search with an agenda to be right, to be vindicated, to hold on to the narrative of "I was wronged." Imagine an archaeologist digging for treasure but refusing to clear the dirt. Just digging, but leaving everything covered. That's what grievance is. The treasure is right there. But we refuse to brush away the dust of resentment. The ancient search ends the moment we stop looking outside and start removing what blocks the light within. The clouds, the seeming reality of fear. This cloud metaphor is another Twilight Zone-level mind-bender. You stand outside the circle of your mind, looking at a thick barrier of storm clouds, convinced that's all there is. The idea of light behind them. Preposterous. The clouds seem real. But what is a cloud? Condensed vapor. Nothing you could actually grab onto. You ever try to touch a cloud from an airplane window? There's no substance. It looks thick, but it's just an illusion. That's grievances. They look dense, impenetrable, immovable. But the only way to prove them false is to go through them. If you stay outside, you will always believe the clouds are the sky. You will always believe the grievance is permanent. And Jesus, in his cosmic humor, basically says, "Go on. Try it. Walk through the cloud. You think it's real. Push through. See what happens." And the moment you actually release a grievance, you realize, oh damn, that wasn't even real. It was only real because you stayed outside and believed it was solid. The little willingness, the universal law of grace. Your little effort and small determination call upon the power of the universe to help you, and God himself will raise you from the darkness into the light. That right there. That's the mechanics of salvation. You don't have to fight, claw, or struggle. You just have to want to see things differently, even a little, even a mustard seed of willingness. And the moment you do, the universe rushes in, like a boat caught in the river's current, just a slight push off the shore, and suddenly the whole force of the stream carries you forward. But you must take that first step. You must extend the hand. You must want to see past the grievance. No one can force you to. No amount of spiritual wisdom can do it for you. You must actually desire peace more than you desire to be right. The temptation of grievance, the daily test. If I hold this grievance, the light of the world will be hidden from me. This is not just philosophy. This is real. It's a daily practice. Every moment, we have the chance to hold a grievance or let it go. And every single time, the cost of holding on to it is our own light. So the real question is, do I want to see? Or do I want to keep myself in the dark? Because let's be honest, sometimes we want to stay in the dark. Sometimes the ego loves a good grievance. It thrives on it. It feeds on injustice and offense. It builds its identity out of wounds and battle scars. It says, if I let this go, what do I have left? But what's left is the light of the world. Final thought. The power of seeing the light. Imagine yourself in a pitch-black cave with another person. You have a lantern, but you're gripping it so tightly, keeping the light covered, because you're mad. Because you think they should be the one to light the way, but in doing so, you've kept both of you in darkness. Now imagine loosening your grip, uncovering the lantern. The whole cave illuminates. And suddenly you see, there was never a monster, never an enemy. just two lost souls in the dark waiting for someone to turn on the light. That's what forgiveness does. It doesn't excuse, it doesn't justify, it simply reveals. The light was never missing, it was only hidden. And you hold the key to uncovering it.